Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the troublesome reign of King John, and we get to hear from Friar Thomas today in Act 2, Scene 6. Now, we have seen Friar Thomas before, like way earlier in the play, in the scene where the bastard went to shake them down at Swinstead Abbey and like get all of the money out of the abbey that he could on King John's orders. And this is the scene, if you remember, that was rather farcical, with people sleeping in chests that they thought were going to be full of money and blah, 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 all of this. Friar Thomas was involved in all of that. So he saw firsthand how King John treats the church. And he was not super thrilled about it, because who would be? So anyway, flash to Act 2, Scene 6 now, and we have King John starting out the scene. He's near Swinstead Abbey, and he's not feeling very well, and he's lamenting the fact that he doesn't really want to live, but he can't really die yet, and he needs some relief one way or the other. And then the bastard comes in and tells him that the English are losing, that a lot of them got swept away by the sea, and once they found out that King John had left the battlefield, a lot of them wanted to run away. So things aren't going very well for King John in this moment, and he's feeling very bad about himself. But the bastard's like, well, let's get into the abbey, and we can find help there. So they knock on the abbey door, and the abbot answers. And there's a little bit of back and forth, like, can't you see that the king isn't well? Can we please bring him in? Blah, blah, blah. And so the king is brought into the abbey and taken to a room so that he can get himself together and maybe get some food and some rest, that sort of thing. And just as everybody leaves, Friar Thomas is the only one left on stage, and he says, "Is this the king that never loved a friar? Is this the man that doth contemn the Pope? Is this the man that robbed the holy church and yet will fly into a friary? Is this the king that aims at Abbey's lands? Is this the man whom all the world abhors and yet will fly into a friary? Accursed be Swinstead Abbey, abbot, friars, monks, nuns, and clerks, and all that dwells therein, if wicked John escape alive away. Now, if that thou wilt look to merit heaven, and be canonized for a holy saint, to please the world with a deserving work, be thou the man to set thy country free, and murder him that seeks to murder thee." So this is Friar Thomas holding a grudge. He is not at all forgetting that King John had the whole place ransacked. He's not forgetting that King John didn't want to acknowledge the new Archbishop of Canterbury. He's not wanting to forget the fact that King John took all of the church's money and that the whole country is turning against him now. And he's like, so he's going to come here specifically, to hang out with friars and abbots and religious people who he hates and has treated very badly. He's going to come here to get help? No. He's like, no, we are all cursed if we let him leave this place in one piece. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do everybody a favor, and I'm going to get rid of King John. I'm going to kill him before he kills us. So then the abbot comes back in, and he's like, King John is getting settled and he's feeling a little bit better. We should get some food ready for him. Meanwhile, Friar Thomas keeps mumbling under his breath. He's like, I should just take a hammer and hit him over the head. I should blah, blah, blah. He's plotting how to kill King John, but the abbot thinks that Friar Thomas is plotting how to kill him. So he becomes afraid of Friar Thomas a little bit. And then he's like, if you mean to harm me, please don't. And Friar Thomas is like, no. I'm not talking about harming you. He's like, hear me out. The king is here. Yes. And it's like, yes. It's like, the king hates friars. Yes. People who hate friars are our enemies. Yes. So the king is our enemy. Yes. So we should kill the king. This is the train of thought that he takes to bring the abbot along in his plot to get rid of the king. And the abbot is like, wait, who would dare kill a king? And Friar Thomas is like, I would dare to kill a king, and I can do it today. Just let me do it, and I'll get rid of him, and all of our problems will be fixed. The country will be better off. Let me do it. I want to do it. I'm set to do it. And the abbot is like, well, okay, if you're resolved that you're going to do this, I hereby absolve you of all sins. Go forth and kill the king. And that's the end of the scene. So, murder plot hatches by a monk in an abbey, which in Shakespeare's version, this particular scene doesn't exist. This plot point exists, but we find out about it like later on through other people just sharing bits of exposition with us. We don't get to see the actual conversation happen. We don't get to see the gears turning in Friar Thomas's head that this is why he needs to kill King John. So again, the scene doesn't exist in Shakespeare's play, but whoever wrote this version of the play felt that this was important enough to take a moment and dig into why Friar Thomas feels that he needs to do this. So anyway, come on back tomorrow for more and we'll see how it all plays out. Not like you don't know already, but I'll see you tomorrow anyway. Mwah.